Welcome, Wonder Women of the World. This is Ilona Budapesti, Chief Storyteller of 1 Million Women to Tech. I'm here with Ola, Irina, and Anne, our guest speaker. Today is the first time we're calling the community update a mission update, because really it is about the mission in the end. And I would welcome all mothers of community, especially to come to these live updates, because this is our chance to clarify anything that you saw in the community and that may have been ambiguous or not clear in writing. So with that, I will go and see if there are any questions right away regarding the first week and or not clear in writing. Okay, I just played myself. And if there aren't questions, then I will go through and try to address everything that we saw this week. Then we will have a little update from Ola and Irina. And then I will ask Anne, who is one of the, well, she's leading right now all the leaderboards within the Mothers of Community and has been with us since the very beginning, actually, to tell us her journey. Okay? Okay, sounds good. So I'm going to share my screen. Cindy, hello. Who else is there? If you're watching, can you please type into the YouTube chat the city and country where you're from or where you're watching from? Ooh, infinite loop. Good. You will see that there is a new post on the blog under announcements called Mission Update, and today's date in ISO format. So we do this every Friday. Please come if you have unresolved questions. Dear learners, sisters, fellow women, let's get started with the questions. We completed the first week of Winter of Data. Yay! Round of applause. Well done to all of you. I hope the time zone is a little more friendly to those in the US and those in, I would say, Central Asia. There were login issues, and I want to tell you how to get help. So the login issues were multifold. First of all, we during the launch, our server had about 8 times the allowed amount of traffic, to be honest. We had a lot of red warnings. We're a nonprofit, so we were using good quality but very cheap hosting. And so we're looking into actually upgrading from that, because we have outgrown, we are on the largest possible shared server, and we basically are just too heavy. So some of you had login issues. About 12,000 of you have been already successfully imported into the new system, but there are a total of 29,000 of you. So I would say we are about 1/3 of the way of the completion, but working on it, just letting you know. If you need help, the way to get help is by sending an email to hereforyou@1millionwomentotech.com. I'm going to type this into the chat. And if you are a gold or VIPer, could you please put either gold or VIP into the subject title so that it helps us prioritize. Okay, so this is how to get help. Can I get some thumbs ups for how to get help? Hi, Cindy. Jenny Price, Vancouver, Canada. Cindy from Portland, Oregon. Wonderful. Next one, what can the DIYer success? So we saw a lot of questions about, there are some courses out there, but I cannot get to it yet. I finished the daily data statistics section. What can I do? So I left the daily data statistics open for you so that you can play with it, and also we can play with it a little bit, how it works. But the plan is actually to release just one daily data each day. So if you think Monday through Friday, we release 5 of them. And there are, I believe, 14 statistic snippets. So that's about 2 weeks and 4 days. And once those are done, then don't worry, the next one will be probability. We will open that course as well. This is a point of confusion. People think, why can I not access that course? Well, because it's not yet open. And there is this nature, we're trying to keep ourselves in sync as a community. So I think we will try to add maybe some clarifications to the Google Calendar and some clarifications to the course pages as to when they open, so that you don't feel worried. Okay, so they will open up one after the other. I just wanted to let you know what's coming ahead of time. Thumbs up for that. Pooja Sajnani. Hi. Good. This was a big point of confusion. Number 3, gold memberships. What's happening? When do they open? How much are they? And so on. We have a whole page for you. So I would like to announce this page, Mothers of Community. If you think there is somebody who is interested, please help us spread the word. Thank you. Oh, Wendy is here. Hi, Wendy. By the way, Wendy, I'm talking to Ola about it, so I don't have an answer for you yet. We're thinking. It's very simple. Actually, you don't need the individual membership. You can just type in 1millionwomen2tech.com/gold. It will land you here. Let me just get that link. Oh. Well, it says Wendy, heart. Okay. And here in the gold section, we describe the benefits, the price, and we have opened up a application form. Some of you have already applied. We ask you to share your usernames on the other platforms with us so we can find you, and tell us a little bit about why you are interested in joining. And we do ask you that you read about the dues and the non-refundable magic policy. Okay, so this is it. The plan is we will keep this open until March 8th and see how many people are interested in joining. But the priority really is on the existing gold members, because we would like to, and VIPers, because we would like to deliver on the promise of giving them the certificates, which means we have to manually review all their homeworks. And once those have been reviewed, a feedback given, and they receive the certificates, that's when we plan to open the memberships. Any questions around that? Oh, miss you, Wendy. I like the love flowing. Okay, Mothers of Community. Oh, sorry, why of course is showing why not. Hint, it's on purpose. Yes, so I said the courses will open based on the schedule of winter data 2019. Mothers of Community. It's only the 4 of us here, and there's 29,000 of you, not to mention the whole of the internet, you know, the 170,000 Facebook followers from all different language backgrounds. Unfortunately, there's just no way that we can answer everybody. And yet it would be so wonderful if you could just follow all the social media channels on 1 Million Women to Tech. If you see a question, most of the answer is here on the Winter of Data website. Just send them the link, please, and thank them for their interest. Yeah. And please come to this live session. So I'm still waiting for your questions. If you saw any unresolved issues in the community, this would be a great time to type it into the chat. Mission numbers. I'll hand over to Irina.
Yay! So we have 2,907 users on our website, and it's not such a big number compared to our database of you students, but I hope that slowly you will all transfer to the website, because we need to have one point of truth where everyone can get all the info they need and all the communication. So please join if you haven't already. And also about social media, I enjoy communicating with you all, and I like the inspiration you give me, the answers I give to you. They give me courage to proceed, and I just enjoy working with you.
Wonderful. The other reason for coming to the website is when we looked at the Summer of Code, about, I think, 2/3 had, where was this? This was at the very beginning, had Facebook accounts and would react to the Facebook related announcements when we send them out via email, and 1/3 would not. So that makes us think that about 1/3 of the audience, for example, either doesn't have or doesn't wish to have Facebook. And also women, for example, in China, behind the great digital firewall, they can use, I mean, yeah, you can use a VPN, you can do it. But if we have the community here inside the site. We are not dependent on Facebook, and B, hopefully we can be more unified and international. Okay, Ola.
Well, I have two numbers for you. I have a number of submitted of social media tracker. This is something that Mothers of Community are doing. So we have 22, and we have also organic outreach. So sharing information about 1 million women to tech, and this is 33. But what I would like to emphasize is that those numbers maybe are not big, but we just started this week. But I will start to announce a small leaderboard, and today the number one on our leaderboard from Mothers of Community is our amazing guest, Anne, who made the most of all the Mothers of Community. So thank you. You're absolutely amazing. Thank you for what you're doing. And I would like to work with you even closer, because what you're doing is very valuable.
Love that.
It's not only a huge amount of help, but also it's a very valuable for me.
Thanks.
For all of us.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh. Yay, girl. And Vanessa, if you're ever out there watching, by the way, we send you lots and lots of love, and can't wait to hear from you
again.
See you again. Exactly. All right. That's it from us. I think by next week, it would be awesome to have a little bit of we'll try to give you a little bit of a visual leaderboard, even if it's just a Google sheet with some little chart on it, because we're data dragonesses. And now I would love to give it over to Anne. Anne, would you please first introduce yourself personally and professionally, just in a few sentences, and then how you got involved in the Summer of Code at the beginning?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm Anne. It's nice to meet you, and I hope I see all of you out in the social world, social media, all that. Look for me. I'm out there. I am in the process of learning machine learning. I'm learning AI, things like that. I work freelance, so I'm working for myself right now. I'm doing some social media stuff. I'm doing some website maintenance stuff, that kind of thing. Is sort of the shortest part, and I can just sort of go into the longer story if you want me to. Basically,
what kind of freelancing do you usually do? What kind of freelancing do you usually do?
Right now, I'm mostly doing website maintenance. I'm helping people build or maintain their websites. If somebody has something that's been sort of working, I'm just helping them keep it going, make it a little better here and there. I'm working with some philanthropic organizations primarily. So I'm helping them doing just doing basic website maintenance. And then I also do grant reviews and that kind of thing, just because it's fun and interesting. So yeah, it's a lot of random piece it together stuff, because my schedule is really weird. I have a 1.5-year-old, and I was not doing any data stuff before this. I used to be a chef. So I ran kitchens here in Napa. That's what I was doing. And that was awesome and amazing. And I got pregnant and I had this baby, and I just assumed I'd go back to cooking, and realized that we just couldn't be a 2-restaurant family. My fiance, I guess, I call him my husband. We've been together for like 8 years. My husband runs front of house in restaurants. So he runs like the waiters, the servers, all that stuff. And I was running kitchens in other restaurants. And we would never see Alice, and we would never be around her if we were both in restaurants, and there just isn't childcare at 2:00 in the morning. So that's a big deal. It's really a crazy thing. So I was looking at what I could do to give Alice a better life. And I want weekends. I want holidays. I want to make a little more money, that kind of thing. So
And you want the same for her when she grows up, right? Because what we're doing is really, we will see the benefit, but they will reap it.
Yeah, they will. They absolutely will. Everything that I can do to change things a little bit for her, she, I think, will take hopefully into the future and just multiply it times 1,000,000 and just do everything that she sees her mom do, and do it more and do it better, and just pass it forward like that. And I think that's just the most beautiful thing we can do. Yeah, I wasn't sure what I was going to do, and I found coding, and then I found data, and then I found data science, and then I found machine learning and AI, and now I'm just having a blast with it. And the more I can learn, the more I can teach her, and the more I can help her.
How did you find 1 Million Women to Tech and the Summer of Code?
I was, let's see, in the very beginning, I was looking for women-related technology, areas where women were encouraged to learn technology, women who were new to coding, women who were new to tech, all of that. I believe in the power of women banding together. I believe that women belong in these typically male-dominated industry for no reason other than we belong there. Like there's nothing we shouldn't be doing. But I think that we are stronger when we're together. I think that if we can reach out, if we can hold each other's hands, if we can find each other in this, huge globe of women who maybe don't know what they're doing yet, but they're gonna. Maybe they don't know how to do something, but they can work with other women and they can group together and find each other and give power to each other. I think
Wendy says, "Hooray for a successful search at Anne."
Yes, it's a Google search. I found you on a Google search.
Wow, amazing, excellent. And then, what made you jump in and be like, yes, I'm willing to moderate a group. I'm willing to help the DIYers, because that's a big step forward from passively just sitting back and consuming the content.
I felt like there was a space available for it. I felt like even though I wasn't an expert, even though I didn't know what I was doing, I had a little bit of experience, and I saw all these women out there who had less experience than I had. So instead of feeling like, some big imposter where I don't know everything, so I can't be in charge. I don't know how to answer all of the questions, so I can't answer any questions. I was like, I see a lot of questions that I can answer. I see a lot of information that I have that I can share with other people. And maybe I can put together a place where a bunch of other women can just join in. And it's okay if you don't know what's going on, but you can raise your hand and be like, I don't know what GitHub is, that kind of thing. I don't know how to open Python or whatever the question is, those questions I can do, now I know a lot of stuff. Now I've spent the last year learning an incredible amount. I'm working on image classifiers in PyTorch and completing, all kinds of things like that, which is really amazing and fun. Yay, writing articles on Medium and publishing them and stuff like that. Like, that's great. But I love teaching. I think just because we don't already know it doesn't mean that we can't know it. And I think that just because someone is just starting out doesn't mean that they won't wind up 5 years from now better than I am, and if I know, I see so many women in kitchens who would walk in and not know what was going on and get overwhelmed and back out and miss the whole opportunity.
Interesting.
I just want to just
That's very interesting, because I started to tell. Well, I'm selective about it, but if it's a bit of a quieter time, I started to tell the coffee shop girls who are giving me the coffee.
Mm-hmm.
About it, like, especially if I see that they're very quick, they know what they're doing. It's like, this kind of person can learn.
Yeah,
and
that's all
they are, and this type of job, I believe the robots are going to automate this. I don't think there will be, at least in the developed countries, I don't really think there will be manual or menial jobs. Who knows? 5, 10, 20 years, doesn't matter. It will be gone. So it's either us or our children who we need to move to the next stage of learning and whatever that is. So fantastic. Okay, Medium. We should talk about this afterwards. I'd love to. We're looking for actually members who wrote things to publish and cross-post, and so this is perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I can do that. I can totally do that. Yeah, I've started doing my own.
Doing it already. Yes.
We can put something together. We could create something. We could actually create a 1 Million Women to Tech publication on Medium. I can do that.
Wow.
I can help.
And we're very happy to link back to yourselves. I mean, the whole point is to put women in the forefront. So let's do it. Ladies, I'm actually, I don't know if this is clear, but I'm waiting for questions to flow in while we're talking with Anne. That's the purpose. So I don't know, Wendy, Jessie. Oh my gosh, Jessie, I didn't see you. Tick Visa is here. Hi. how was your experience with the first week? Were you able to get to the data? If not, were you able to at least see some of the replays? Let us know how we can support you. And did you see anything that was unanswered? Please help us clarify. If not, then I will continue a little bit here. Okay, then I have a few more questions. Ola, Irina, do you have questions? I wanted to ask a little bit about how to moderate successfully. Yeah? Do you have questions? Feel free to unmute yourself. And
No, actually, about some advices about moderating is a very good question. I'm very curious.
Yeah.
what were the challenges and how did you overcome? I don't know, especially second language learners or repeating questions.
Me?
Yes.
Awesome. No, so I really, first of all, take a deep breath. First of all, know that everybody is speaking a second language if they're getting into coding. Coding is a second language. Like learning that language is hard enough on top of anything else. So take a deep breath, and there's a lot of peace to be found in answering the same question over and over. If you're not making sense, make a better answer. If you did make sense, copy and paste. Like it's easy to just keep doing that. And just remember that the more active your answers are on social media, even if you're posting the same answer in 17 different threads, you're making your group pop up a little more. You're making the algorithm a little happier, giving them a little more food because your group is active and getting the name out there. Just, if you are a mother of community, support your children. And if your children want to ask 17 times why the sky is blue, and you're going to give them the same answer every time, and they're going to ask, well, why is it blue? Well, why blue? Well, why is the sky blue? Well, why blue on the sky? I can keep answering it. These are my kids, like if they want to read the same book 500 times, then we're going to read the same book 500 times. And that's what we're going to do. So if you can just remember that you are busy. You're absolutely busy. You have a whole life, but you are there in a position of support. You are there to support people who are frustrated and who will walk away if you are rude to them, if you are short with them, if you just don't have time for them. It's understandable, but you might turn somebody off to tech who could have been great, who could have changed something or done something or changed their own lives in a small way. You are, for the newbies, for the people who don't know what's going on, you're going to make the difference between them getting into this and them deciding that this is a place that's not for them, that doesn't welcome them, that they're not good enough. And I never want to send a woman away feeling like she's just not good enough because she didn't ask a question in the right way. So that's what I believe.
Wow, that's really good. Thank you.
It's just something that I try to remember, like if you're on Facebook, is there something you're doing that's more important than just being like, the sky is blue because the sky is blue, and I'm gonna show you another picture of a blue sky, and we're gonna make the sky blue together, and let's see what a cloud looks like over there. Let's talk about what that cloud looks like. Does it look like a rabbit? That's what I'm gonna do for a couple of minutes, and it's good.
Irina, you had a question, I think.
Yeah, I got it answered, and you're amazing. And I want to support 100% because I have many questions on social media, like how much math is in data science, and if it's really hard, and I don't know where to start. And it's really important to support that and to make it clear that it's hard, yes, but it's manageable. It's manageable, and anyone can do this if you want to.
Yeah.
And we are here to support you and to show you how and to guide you all the way. And post more questions. We are there for you.
Yeah.
It's awesome to be a part of the community and to meet such beautiful creatures like you.
Thanks. Yeah.
Okay, I have two a bit more, not like technical, but more logistical or organizational questions for you. The first one is, what could we as the core team do? Because we are, of course, limited in time and effort, but if there is something that we could do to make your life easier moderating or their life easier, whether it's, making a how-to with screenshots or what you can refer to, or whether it's a communication channel. Like we try to have these weekly updates to give you a chance to interact and clarify. But if there's anything else that we could do logistically to help you to moderate better or to raise a little bit the quality of discussion, I saw actually a few very good posts inside the Women Women to Text official, the Women Helping Women group, where people posted coding questions. And honestly, they didn't really get very good answers. So one of my concerns is how can we perhaps find those who have enough coding knowledge, but maybe don't have the time to moderate every day, and then like ping them on those comments, for example, and say, hey, here's a code snippet. Could you please give an intelligent, beginner-friendly, and yet intelligent, high-quality technical answer? Like, I think there were a few questions about the most difficult thing for beginners, I find, is loops. And I think there were a couple times where people couldn't quite like figure out the exit condition on a loop. And, if you know how to code, it's obvious, but if you don't, then you don't. So if you can give us any tips on how can we support you better, that would be really great.
I think, well, for me, life is pretty easy. I've got this Facebook DIY group where the women are really helping each other. So if I'm really distracted with my kid for like 2 days straight, I have these other wonderful women who are hopping in and being like, what if you try this? What if you try this? Hey, check out this link. And that's working really well. And I think that having other women supporting other women and feeling like they can is going to take such a load off you. So let's say you have someone who doesn't know how to answer coding questions, but you have somebody who does know how to answer coding questions, but not very often. If the person who doesn't know how can just shoot those questions or a link or a screenshot or whatever to your coding person, and then just say, hey, I sent this to our coding person, she'll get back to you by Friday or whatever, whatever it is, then I think a lot of times if you just throw a question out there, you can get frustrated. But if you're like, oh, I'll have an answer by Friday, then you can just sit back and wait and not panic and not, worry that you're going to lose everything or worry about it. Or maybe you have somebody who does have time and knows coding, and they can just put together a little tutorial on this is a loop, this is a this. And I know that's what you're doing on your website and on the videos and all that. And that's perfect and amazing. But sometimes
you need repetition, you need drilling, there are variations, of course, all of that. Yeah.
It's another language. You're learning a language, and to hear it once doesn't work.
This is very interesting. This is a pet peeve of mine, languages. So those are my other love.
They're awesome.
So I'm on my 13th human language, and I realized that one of the, and that's because I'm really not shy to ask for repetition. So did you know that I think there is some research in early childhood language acquisition that kids usually are given the same input more than 200 times before they completely acquire it. 200 times. So mom is willing to sit there and repeat blue sky, blue sky, sky, blue sky 200 times. And it's not a problem to do again and again. But if once you're an adult, suddenly, if you say a new word for me that I don't know, then it's like, oh, I'm very shy to ask for repetition. Oh, and then people aren't repeating it again and again and again and again. So absolutely new thoughts. New concepts need repetition. I was wondering maybe if we could ask the mothers of community and yourself as well. I think I will start a forum post, if it's okay for you, on our website for DIY. And I will say code snippets from previous posts. And if we could crawl through maybe our previous group posts, find those that were code questions. I assume if one person asked it, then it will be relevant for many of them. Mm-hmm. And then maybe we can also find the right mentors, and myself, we can go through, record a video answer or just answer. And then next time when something like this happens, if you know that we already have this library of snippets, we can refer back to it.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Or a favorite website. If the question keeps being a for loop and you're like, check out this website, I'm going to send we're going to take a look at this code, but why don't you check out this website? Or why don't you try running it as gift checker?
Exercises on, I don't know, there are so many of these self-graded websites where you can practice.
Yeah. Definitely. Just sending people there, like, check out diff checker. If you have the real code and your code isn't running, try it in diff checker. See if there's a difference there. It's a space, it's an indent, it's something like that. Like sometimes just giving people a link where they can go is all they need to just get it in and get it in a different way. The video is awesome. Then you can also have text, and you can also have audio or an image or something like that. And sometimes that's just what it takes for someone to click. It's it's kids. It's language acquisition.
Excellent. Tikwiza says languages are mine too. Cindy says, good idea, Ilona. Maybe we can get designated Motsus, mother of communities, for Python, JavaScript, data with stats expert that can be pinged in those instances. Absolutely. I really like that. Yeah. It will take a little coordination. I found we thought it's enough to just put all the people into the same place, like the group or the Discord channel, but people still have difficulty finding each other. So we'll just have to figure out where the list of like experts are and who to ping when. But yeah. Wendy says, I would love to learn another language. Wish list number is Japanese. Wish list number 1 is Japanese. Okay. Japanese is not too difficult if you don't want to learn how to write. I think speaking you can learn, I don't know, in 3 months you can have enough to introduce yourself and maybe talk about one topic, like your favorite topic. Okay.
And there's a question about datathons. Is there any
datathon? That's
details?
very good question. Actually, so the datathon, more information on the datathons. So like in the Summer of Code, what I would like to do is next Monday, after I do the little 2-minute snippet in the morning, I will do sort of I will push the announcement to GitHub, and then I'll go through it on a video and then start taking the questions. Right now, the datathon idea is that there will be an open datathon so that you can do whatever you want, and we try to showcase your projects to help you gain visibility for it, or answers or support. And then the themed version will be the gender gap, closing the gender gap. So according to the World Economic Forum, I think you remember the front image of the courses. They estimated right now, if we extrapolate the current improvement, it will take 216 years to close the gender gap. And I will share with you the list of the underlying data sources. There are more than 100 data sources that the World Economic Forum used. And I will encourage you to come up with your own indicators and perhaps a different estimation, and come up with suggestions and solutions on how to speed that up. And I will have a mini one, which is what we did today in the exploratory data analysis course. I will share with you 2 CSV files, which are from the Summer of Code signups. They're very, very small data sets that you can play with if you're a DIYer, and you can practice your plotting and your descriptive skill. So these are the topics, but the details I would like to announce on Monday. Yeah. Yikes. Wendy says yikes.
Yeah, 200 years, it's too much. We need to growth hack the gender gap.
Yeah, I mean, I firmly believe, I mean, this didn't start out as 1 million women to tech. It started out, I think, if you follow, you know this. It's just that in the Oxford Hackathon, we had, out of the 804 applicants, we had only 57 women. So it was about 8% or something. And I just, as a software engineer, I was very upset because I thought, this is Oxford, this is uber liberal, we are top of the world. Like, if anywhere, this should be like really good. And I thought that let's just try to reach, and then we accepted 300 plus, I think about 350 participants. So I thought, well, let's just try to get 300 women. Like, that was the goal, really. That's how it started. And I thought, well, if we're doing it, let's put it online. And then it just like, and then I realized that women's power is there, and started asking others to do share it, because yes, if it's online, then I mean, it's online. You can, it's there. You can basically consume and share and learn from it. So that's how it started. But I firmly believe I would really like to see in my dream, like what makes me get up every day is, by 2050-ish, I would love to prove the statistic wrong and literally do something about closing this gap. But of course, it's a lot of work. It's not just learn. I think the education piece is the first piece. And if you saw our annual plan, we would love to, once this website is stable and solid, we would really love to go after companies to get you gigs and job offers and different paradigms of work. But for that, we need scale. Like the UN, for example, gave us a sponsorship because they saw that there were people from 145 countries and enough 1,000 people. But we're still not at the size where, you know, we can go to, I don't know, Google or Intel and say, you know, we have several hundred experts and several thousand people who have completed a basic Python course. Like, we're not quite there yet. And that is why I think the numbers there is extreme power in the numbers. I experienced this in my talk with the sponsors like the UN and GitHub. Like, the conversation is completely, and Facebook, it's completely different if you have a single group versus if you have local groups. Are extremely important, I think, for support and encouragement. But it's much easier for them to ignore us if we are small local groups. And this is why the Global Unity, I requested to be our
unique philosophy.
Yeah, our unique philosophy. So anyway, that's that. I have another question for you, Anne. This is sort of my last question, and then I actually built up a little bit towards Ola's story. I would like to close with a story from Ola's 3-year-old that she shared with us about learning language and learning new things. Okay, the last question for you is, we talked about what we can improve, and there's so much we can improve. But what was it, if anything, that was different or unique in your view with 1 Million Women to Tech versus the other resources out there? Because there are so many really great courses and really great books. If there is anything, and you could verbalize it, I would be very grateful.
I got to feel like I was a part of it. I got to decide that I was going to be a part of it, which was something that I had to do. And then I got to be a part of it. I got to decide that I was going to make a Facebook group for, you know, the DIYers. And then I did, and you guys were great with it. And then you thought it was good, and that was wonderful. And I got to, you know, say I wanted to be a volunteer, and you're like, okay, you're a volunteer. And I said, well, I want to be a mentor. And you're like, okay, you're a mentor because you said you were a mentor. And I just think you can't get that anywhere else.
Yeah.
You can't do that somewhere else. You can't just be
Interesting.
like, today I, you know what? I love what you're doing. I want to be a mentor. And you're like, yeah, boom, you're a mentor. Like, that's magic. That's magic. That's just magic.
Okay. That's very helpful. Thank you.
It's good.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
mean, we just needed it because it's just a few of us. So there's, like you said, it's actually all up to you, all of yourself. And yeah, I mean,
I think that's the thing that's easy to forget, that you just have to decide in this group of women. If you say, I want to be a mentor, somebody is going to say, then you are a mentor. Then you are a mentor. You decided, and that's what you are. And then put it on your name on Discord. You're it. You're in. Like, that's different. That's special. That's magic. But it's up to you to make the decision. And that's something else that's different here. No one's going to reach out and pat you on the back and say, you know, you have jumped through 3 hoops, you have filled in 4 forms, and now you are a mentor. You have to raise your hand. Just raise your hand. You guys are paying attention. Raise your hand.
wow, that's awesome. And like I said, you never need my permission, anybody's permission to do something good in the world. There is one caveat to this, if I may say that, because now we are maturing, which is, I don't know if I shared this with you. This is to all of you wonderful ladies who, during the summer of Code Launch, went out and sprung up these unofficial 1 Million Women to Tech DIY groups, which is, I let it happen because there was a need and we couldn't fill it. There were so few of us, and you were active, and I just appreciated this willingness. Oh, there is a kitty. I miss. Oh my gosh! Now I'm going to. Oh, I need my kitten fix. I really, really appreciated all of you who spending your own time, effort, energy, intelligence, your kindness, you were willing to fill that gap. And more than that, really just allow for this to happen. On the other hand, at Oxford, basically, at the business school, I got reprimanded. At the entrepreneurship center, I got warned. By the lawyers, I got really, really scared, because what's happening is, all of you used the brand without permission is one issue. The second one is, because especially of European data protection laws, if things that are shared within or shared without, it really just a few things need to go wrong, the nonprofit could get into extreme trouble, and I personally can get fined up to 55,000 euros or maybe even worse. And you personally can also, if you're in a jurisdiction, could go to jail or something. Like, there is a lot of legal issues there that you have to be aware of.
I should be more specific. Within 1 million to tech, you could be a volunteer, you could be a mentor by raising your hand.
So what I'd like to request is, which is why the Mother of Communities is here, is anybody who did that, we're reaching out to you. Please, let's bring it in to the nonprofit. And now we have, thanks to Vanessa's amazing work, we have these volunteer, Ola, what's the name? These are policies that we need to, like, they talk about data protection, how we're going to handle it, and everything went fine. It was, unfortunately, nothing went fine.
Like grievance policy, like trademark protection.
There's all these legal things that basically, if you are officially moderating, that we would just need you to, yes, do fill in the form afterwards and handle it and take care. And I think there was one more thing. Yeah, the harassment. Fortunately, we are an online community, and we only had one issue on Discord. But this is such a real, it's a very real risk. And only really one or two, very few bad experiences need to happen within either the online moderated group, or God forbid, if you, or so I'm staying away right now from in-person events. You can do them informally, but please don't yet call them unlimited until we know the legalities, we understand it, and we can do it together safely. Because if any one person gets abused, like physically or emotionally or anything, it could tremendously harm, not just on a PR level, but it could legally completely, harm the initiative. And that's not the goal. The goal is to help women, is to be positive. And so the more energy you have, please bring it in. And please also help us to bring the professionalism up to basically protect us. Okay, so this is the kindness and truth. I just wanted to share that with you. Okay, and thank you for being so positive, Azana, because I was afraid I didn't know how to share this with all of you, because internally, of course, I was very nervous and hoping nothing bad will happen, and nothing bad happened. But I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, no, that's great. It's wonderful. Yeah, you want to help within the organization. Don't go out and start your own million to tech women stuff. You
can't do that.
Help the women within the organization as a part of it. If you're outside, you're unofficial.
Yeah, you can do lots of things unofficially. I mean, you don't need our permission to do good in this world. Just go do it. Just let you know. And Tikviza here actually is the person who helped us to increase tremendously the sophistication of our, let's call it compliance field. So Tikviza, maybe you could be our guest speaker. I don't know what you are willing to disclose and whatnot, so I don't want to go into it, but if you come on as a guest speaker, maybe next week, then we could talk about this in detail. Yeah, I want to make sure that I don't say things that are not legally kosher. She says, my pleasure. Awesome. Yeah, I would love to clear this up, because I think it's important for the scalability of the future. And we did have, I must say, we did have one incident where one male mentor asked for one of the students' personal information. And that's how our zero tolerance policy, non-harassment policy, came to life. And actually, there is a very good description about how to handle these cases. The main point is, ladies, never to react to any crisis management. Just screenshot it and then document it. That's the legal way. So you want to have evidence. And so you want the time, the date, the channel, the person's username, screenshot. The more details you have documented, the better. And then you send it to us. and we review it, and basically just at this moment we have zero tolerance, so we just remove the person. I reviewed it personally. I think it wasn't as bad as it looks. It wasn't quite, I don't think it quite asked for personal detail. It talked about age, but the person got triggered, and so it was actually I'm very grateful, because it was a good learning experience for us on how to handle these type of things before, you know, some real thing could have happened. Okay, let's actually, we're over time. Let's close up. I would like to go back to learning and repetition, and also motivation, because in the end, historically speaking, waiting for the next generation has never worked. We have to change it. Like if we don't want to be discriminated against or oppressed, or we just think that there are other ways of working, different work paradigms, such as from home, with the kids, together, maybe with lots of other women and kids, we can change it. And I think Ola's 3-year-old gives us a very good motivation. Please share it with us if possible.
Yeah, I shared it with this week with the rest of the team, because my daughter became one of my biggest motivation one day. We were coming back from the kindergarten, and she was so focused on some toy she was playing with, and it was chameleon, and in Polish it sounds kameleon. And she was trying to say that, and at the beginning I didn't know what she's saying. She's just 3-year-old, and she's not saying everything correct. And she was like, how to say that? And I told her, chameleon, and she was like, chameleon. And she repeated it again. And I thought that, okay, once or twice, and it's enough. But she was chasing me, Mom, again and again, tell me again. And it was amazing, that 3-year-old, and how eager she was to learn that, pronounce it properly. It was just a new word, like millions of words that she will learn at some point. But for me, it was amazing how eager she was to learn it and to say it properly, how to say it properly. So chameleon became the word of the day.
Hashtag chameleon. I'm sure it's a unique word.
Chameleon became the word of the day. So I was really proud of her, and she was my biggest motivation that time, and she still is, because this is amazing how children. This is what Anne said about the blue sky, and this is exactly the example of this blue sky, this chameleon. So this is what I wanted to share with you all as well.
Wonderful. Isn't that beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
So let's give a round of applause for all of you who have the same drive as if a 3-year-old can have this drive, imagine, you know, I find it so motivating. It's like, yeah. So let's get there. I would like to say, Mothers of Community will receive both email and in the Discord. We are setting up office hours outside of this weekly main mission update for you to come and interact with us live. And we're taking turns so that different time zones, like very, very different time zones, are set up. Our request is, if you will be official Mother of Community, to come at least once a week. And I think we can take just a quick attendance on that. The second one is, both the outreach form and the social media moderation form are trackers that show us what you've actually done. So wanting to help is one step, and then helping us to keep track of it and have data on it is the next step. So we will have some clear objectives actually in numbers of what we expect. And the third one is we are testing out now a mini course for Mothers of Community. It's written, Ola has created it, and this video will be added to it as one of the training videos. And we'll keep adding to it so that there is like a unified experience and understanding amongst the Mothers of Community, and also that we can share best practices with each other. Okay, so these are the 3 things. I'm thinking that in order to qualify for a gold membership, we've been talking about it, for a 3-month period, if you're doing between 5 to 10 hours a week, well, actually for the gold membership, we require at least a 10-hour-a-week commitment for 3 months. So one cohort, and it doesn't have to be this cohort. Like if you're busy this cohort, don't worry. You know, like you can just find a 3-month period in your life when you can actually do 10 hours a week. And within that, it seems if you can do 100 outreach forms, so 100 outreach instances and 600 moderation instances, then that's where we will set the initial bar and then reevaluate if it's too high or too low. Over 3 months, that we think can be done in actually less than about 5 hours, but we wanted to, I'll go through the numbers more in the form. And then the last thing is, I don't know what you think about this. If we can have enough mothers of community who would be willing to hold office hours, like a live session like this, maybe on Zoom, there are, I think, 27 people who have officially put their names down. Then Monday through Friday, we could arrange that each person holds a 1-hour office hour. We could almost have a 24/7, not quite 24/7 coverage, but about every 4 hours, there would be an online event that anybody could come to in the community, whether they're completely new, they just don't know how to register, or they are doing Intro to Python and they need help with installation, or maybe they're too advanced and they cannot find enough challenge, whatever it is. But there would be a mother of community online, and this way every 4 hours or so there would be a next live event that somebody could go to. So that would be my next goal. We just have to figure out the logistics of actually the calendaring is really hard. Google Calendar appointment slots didn't work for it. We tried the Google form that you filled out, but that doesn't sync with any calendars. So now we're looking at Calendly, which we do have a subscription for, but it has limitations also on, like, one-on-one is fine, but group scheduling, like many to many, is not well handled. So I think we might be actually breaking ground here in large scale synchronous communication, and I haven't found the right tool. So this is a question for you. If you know some good software tool that could help us schedule these, so that the ideal would be there are 1-hour slots 24/7, and then the mothers of community can come in and be like, oh, Tuesday 3 p.m. my time, I can commit to 12 weeks. I can be online for 1 hour and answer questions, or just sit there and smile and chat, or maybe I can code with somebody or go through this week's challenges. And then if every mother of community takes a 1-hour slot each week, we can have every 4 hours, I think, a good slot. And it would send you a reminder to come on. It would connect with our Zoom account so you could log in, and it would probably publish it on the rolling calendar online as well, so people know when the next live event is happening. Yeah, I think that's it for me, ladies. Okay, thank you. All right, this was 1 Million Women to Tech Mission Update, January 18th, 2019, end of week 1 of the very first winter of data. Data Duchesses, Daily Data, and Data Dragonesses. See you next week for the Datathon. Have a great weekend.